Today we have a titanium mountain bike, road bike, not quite sure, and its owner, Dave. Actually, he used to work here, and you retired, Dave.
I retired a couple of years ago. Can't completely drag myself away.
And the funniest thing about that is that when you retired, you basically built yourself an indestructible bike, one that would never need maintenance again.
So I built this bike specifically to be a low maintenance bike for a trip to India that I did last September. We cycled for, well, we were over there for a month, cycled for 21 days, I think, 780 odd miles. Big old trip. The bike was excellent.
The trip was epic, and you've been doing like a lecture series as well, haven't you? Been traveling around and doing some talks, which has been really popular.
Have presented to three presentations. 250 odd people have been interested to see the slides of that.
So today's video then is your takeaways. What did you set up, and why are you back here to adapt it after everything you learned while in India, right?
Here I am again with the bike that needs no maintenance in the workshop.
Right, I'm gonna leave you to it. Sexy upgrades coming.
So this bike, it's an Olson titanium frame with a Pinion 12-speed gearbox down here. The advantage of the gearbox is it's totally sealed, it's maintenance free, and does away with the chain and derailleur. So you may see there's a belt drive here. The bike performed brilliantly on the mixed terrain that we encountered in India. The only thing I did miss was having to use flat bars, because I'm really used to drop bars on my touring bikes. The limitation is that the rotary shifter that operates the gearbox will only fit on flat bars. Since I got back from this trip, Pinion have launched an electric shift version of this same gearbox, which means that we can use newly released TRP shifters. What I'm going to do is convert this bike to a drop bar bike with the new gearbox. There's a couple of mods we need to make to the frame in order to accommodate the battery and the new cabling. So the first thing I'm going to do is strip the bike down to a bare frame, get it down to the workshop and do a little bit of engineering on it, ready to fit the new gearbox and the drop bars and the shifter. So we've finished the physical mods that we needed to make to the frame. It's fairly simple. We've opened up a hole in the down tube here, which is for the battery to fit, which powers the gear changing, and an extra little hole added at the top, which is where the control cable is going to come out to the shifter lever on the bars. So the extra parts that we need are this electric unit that fits onto the gearbox, the associated wiring loom and the battery. So we'll fit those in and we'll go ahead, reassemble the bike and see how she performs. Okay, so we'll just have a quick look at the differences between these two gearboxes. They are fundamentally the same in that they're both 12-speed, fully sealed gearbox. This is the one that we've taken off, which has mechanical shifting, and this is the new one that I'm fitting that has the electrical shifting. So the way the gear shifting works on the mechanical is that this little set of planetary gears controls the shafts inside and engages different sets of gears to give us our 12 ratios. And they're controlled by this rotary shifter with two cables. So as I change gears here, you should be able to see the gears on the gearbox rotating which are performing that internal shift. So this is the electrically operated gearbox. The same sort of mechanism is in place here as we have for the mechanical shifting, and this cover with a little electric motor in fits over this when we've assembled it all and carries out the shifting. So this is the part we've been waiting for, which is a TRP shifter with electric shift buttons, the electric cable to connect into the harness, and that should let us set this all up and make this into a drop bar gravel bike. So I did inquire whether we could retrofit this electric shifter to the mechanical gearbox, but the Pinion information says that there are actually subtle changes to the internals of the gearbox to help it work with the electric shift system. The only evidence we have of this is that the left-hand crank has a small magnet attached to it, which synchronizes the actual gear change happening with the position of your cranks to sort of minimize load on the gears. Beyond that, apart from being told that we can't retrofit, I don't know what the internal changes are. We'll see how they work when they're on the bike. We're trying to work out how best to accommodate this harness in a frame that's not really designed for it. We've got the battery installed, and I know where the cables for the shifting unit need to go, but there's also this cable that is going to be for the occasions when we need to charge up the battery. I'm actually wondering whether I could just hide it in the seat tube and pop the seat post out whenever I need to get to this to charge it, which hopefully won't be that often. So here we are with the finished bike. If I go back to the conversion process I did, the only part of it that I didn't know about when I committed to doing this electric conversion was the mods that I was going to have to make to the frame. The frame manufacturer gave me some details because they piloted the installation of electric shift on these frames, so I had some dimensions to work to, but essentially had to make a big hole in the down tube for the battery to fit and another hole here for the control cable to come out of. None of that was particularly difficult. There's just a bit of apprehension taking power tools to a titanium frame, but it all went smoothly. I've ridden the bike a dozen times or so now. My initial impressions of the shifting are that the electric shifting does work really well. Like any new system, it takes a little bit of getting used to. There's sometimes a slight delay until the cranks are in a vertical position for the actual shift to take place. That's only really noticeable at very low cadence. And I've also found that shifting between certain gears, and I think it's between 5 and 4, it won't shift straight away under load. You have to back off the pressure slightly. It's just one of those little things that you very quickly get used to and learn how to use the system. But otherwise, down changes are instant, and when you go in at speed and with high cadence, it seems to shift instantly and very smoothly, so really happy with it. So now we've got the drop bars on. I find these TRP levers, which are a new design, really, really good for gravel riding. I don't know if it's clear, but they do have quite a pronounced hook on the hood, and they sit absolutely beautifully under the hands. So I'm really, really pleased with those as a way of controlling. And the 4-pot brakes that I've paired them with, again, TRP slate calipers, absolutely excellent braking system. So yeah, the controls, absolutely lovely. Okay, so in terms of electric shifting versus mechanical, which do I prefer? For a gravel bike, and for the ability to use drop bars, I would definitely, I really like the way this electric system works. In terms of long-term reliability, if you were going to be going around the world with your Pinion gearbox bike, a part of me still thinks that the mechanical system has a little bit more, robust perhaps. You've got the ability to replace a cable if something gets damaged. This bike has the electric shifting unit has a plastic case on. Potentially that could be damaged if you drop the bike on a rock on that side, and if you're not near to a Pinion dealer, you're not going to be able to replace that. So I think if I was going around the world on this bike, I'd feel more comfortable with the mechanical shifting, but for what I've built this for, the electric shifting is brilliant.
I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more stories from our staff and the sort of bikes that we ride here in the shops, put it down in the comments below and we'll see who else we can get in the front of the camera for the channel. Thanks for watching everyone, take it easy.